Hello, my name is Martin Nieves for Cine Geek. I'm here with the director, one of the co-writers of the new movie Night Patrol, which is going to be on theaters on the January the 16th with Ryan Prows. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Very good, very good. Very excited to be talking to you. First, congratulations on the movies. I got the chance, the opportunity to watch the movie, and I loved it because I wasn't sure what I was going to expect. So I tried to go with it as open-minded as I could, and I did enjoy it, the whole thing, the way there was the structure and everything. So
Oh,
first
awesome.
of all, everything it was so cool. So I
Thank
wanted
you.
to ask you because the movie has such powerful actors. You have Justin Long, which is the Screen King for
Thank
giving it a title, and we have,
truly.
and also you have all this. You have a Ryan, the CM Punk. You have who. So how you able to approach all these actors and say, "I had this movie, come play with me."
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, one, like, pinching myself, Dreamcast, beyond Dreamcast, it was wild. We've been trying to make the movie for a while, and it'd been kinda up and down, and, as we started assembling this, like, super cast, it just became, moment, I remember when we were doing the table read, and you just see it all everyone sitting around the table, and I was like, "I cannot believe we're here with this." I think, like with somebody like Justin, it was so exciting just to see him like push himself in like a way you've never seen him before in a film. And he just delivers on it so well. And I felt like that was kind of the way across the board. It was like as we got like CM Punk in, we knew we were gonna have to try and like write some more monologues for him to deliver because he's like the best talker in the business, all the way down to, Dermot Mulroney was like we named the production uh company Pals off of a running joke in Young Guns. So like we were just so ecstatic of who we were getting involved in the film. And as it was coming together and we were casting everybody, we just you could feel it building and being like this is going to be something special, with this cast.
Yeah, Justin is such an amazing actor, but he's been so involved with horror from Jeepers Creepers. He's one of the first roles. I'm seeing how he's grown in this genre in horror.
Mhm.
So also want to bring you because what I did enjoy about the movie is that it's a vampire movie, but it brings something different because usually it's the same one, two, three. But I think this year has been awesome with for horror. I
Yeah,
think we
for
have
sure.
Weapon, we have Sinners, and keep going and bringing something new. And I think that's something that Net Patrol bring because it's something different than anything else because it's that this police task that there's something with them. There's kind of the training day, a little bit spice, but also a lot of Near Dark. I love Near Dark. I think
Yeah,
that's an
that's one. That
awesome.
was one of our touchstones, and I love this
Yeah.
film so much. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because Near Dark is such a dark movie, and it kind of brings a little bit of everything. So that's why we're talking about what were the inspiration behind this movie, because you see where co-writer of the movie,
Mhm.
what were you expecting from the movie? What was your some of your inspirations to write it?
Yeah, we definitely looked at like, it was like, can we make a LAPD sort of cop thriller like, you like End of Watch or Training Day or those kind of films. Like pull some from that, pull some from like, 90s hood sort of movies like Menace to Society or those kind of films. And mix that with like the vampire genre. And specifically, like, Near Dark was a big touch point for us, and Lost Boys as well. Like, just
Mhm.
kind of like the punkier, sort of like super shady, like vibes to. It felt like it would just fit in that world. So it was all of those. Like, can we make something that you like authentically believe you're watching a police procedural sort of thing or an LAPD cop movie, and then do you believe like the gang stuff as well, and then that'll all sort of like set the table for when the vampire stuff pops off, like that hopefully feels as scary and believable as the world we've kind of set this in and the characters that we've brought along for it.
Yeah, I think that the world building is what it was great for the film because you created a world with believable, where it's relatable that what's happening there. And also, what I did enjoy, I got a chance to talk to Nikki,
Oh,
and
cool.
the chance that what I like about her character was that she wasn't like this damsel in distress. That wasn't she know what happening? Like what's happening? Why is
Yep,
everybody dying? No, she was
yep,
taking matters into her own hands
yep.
and doing anything to protect her children, her family, and
Yep.
her space. So since you Colorado, was this something special that you brought up because I think that we're seeing more women with empowered, and I
Mhm.
think that's something that more I would like to watch because we're tired of seeing the dancing in distress that everyone has to help. No, she was the all the way around. She was such a powerful character.
Yeah, it's like she kind of has like the keys to the movie. She knows everything. She knows what's going on. She's trying to warn everybody, and it is that like like no one's everyone's tuning her out or no one's really listening to her, and like that was a big part of an early conversation of what we were talking about, and then just that matriarchal sort of like mother figure who keeps everything together and keeps the world sort of spinning. And um that was a big thing early on for us as well of like the difference between her and what she's doing for her family and um Dermot's character, Sarge, who's like this father figure who like where's he been in the whole thing with his family. So a lot of that stuff was definitely discussed, and we were kind of like as we were building it. And I worked with Nikki on our previous film Low Life as well, and one other film before that. And uh we wrote the script for her, but I knew like she was just gonna bring something so different and like bring her own self to it. And it was really cool to watch her then just build that character within the world that we had sort of set and like
Mhm.
take it and run with it and make her bring that force to it. It was there on the page, but she just took it that much further.
Also, well, I told you before that I like the world that you built, and I think
Mhm.
that's something that's very difficult to do. And I was want to ask you because I know is since it's a great world to revisit. There are also all mediums. You can do a sequel, which will be awesome. But you have any plans like doing a comic book or something like that in that sense? Because I think
I would
those
love that.
characters, especially RJ's character, that was so cool.
Mhm.
Especially I don't want to spoil, but the costumes and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
So it was very, very, very comic bookish to say something. I won't. That's it. I won't say anything else.
Yeah.
So, do you have any plans for it in that sense? That because it's such a rich, rich role.
I would love that. I mean, we were always kind of like kicking around like what ideas for the sequel would be. Yeah, I grew up like a comic nerd and wrestling and hip hop and punk and everything. So it's like I kind of got to live like all of my dreams of bringing all these folks into the movie as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, we like early on, like I think comics do such a great job of beyond just world building. It's like this character building of like you said, the physical sort of embodiment of them. Like I always kind of jokingly say, like, what's the toy of this character? Like even as you're building any character, and not even like in like a cartoonish whatever, but it's just like how do you boil this thing down to its essence and like what are those like visual sort of like touchstones that are gonna make that character memorable. So I mean, that was also kind of like working with just incredible costumers, incredible designers, our camera team. Um, yeah, building like what does this world look and feel like, and the people that inhabit it, and how do we make each character their own sort of story and stand out and hopefully make everybody want to know like, oh, I would love to actually spend more time with this character and go down the path with this character, but then it works to kind of underline this ensemble.
I know we're really being short on time, but I have to ask you this because what I did love was the idea of the fangs. That the fang did not grow
Mhm,
from them; they had to wear like a sort of brace.
mhm.
Yeah, for the teeth. So, what was the idea from it? Because I found that that's something very original in the vampire sense.
Cool. I mean, it's original because we stole it from like folklore from well back. Just in doing our research, I don't even think it was Zulu specific, but it was just this African folklore, like
Mm.
of a creature that has iron fangs, and it's like a vampiric creature that has these iron fangs, and that really stuck in my mind of like, yeah, how do you kind of update that and make that feel like, yeah, something current, but then also, it feels old world and like it's always kind of been there, and that's again the fun of making a vampire thing is you get to kind of play and make your own rules to it and play within, pick and choose what you like out of previous lore or whatever, and hopefully add something to it and bring a fresh sort of approach to it. So pretty early on, just in doing our research, that was those we knew we were going to do this fangs, and again the visual of that is like so cool, and yeah, I've never seen it before, and I love vampire stuff, so I was excited about that. But
Yeah, it's very badass. So it's a
Method Man had like the grill back in the
real,
day.
yeah.
That's about all I
So that one has
got.
fangs. Yeah, it's badass. It's awesome. So Ryan, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Just remind everybody, the Night Patrol is going to be available on the January 16th on theaters. We have to talk to Freddie because I think he has a connection with Super Seven, which make action figures.
Yeah,
You have to get something for him.
gotta get him. Yeah.
I contact. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.